So we're going to finish up with 615 today, which we're still looking at those systems. And our systems currently have those three equations, or those three variables that we're going to work on. So we're just going to apply that information that we know. Granted, on some of your homework assignments, our little lesson planner never lets me do squares, so that should be like squared. You guys are actually going to look at a quadratic and try and graph a quadratic by using Desmos. When you guys use your CPM textbook, you know how you can click on the little E tool, and we'll go over that a little bit on here for you guys to sit there and play around with the equation, to sit there and see if you can get that parabola through 3 points. But for today, or for right now, we're gonna, with 615, looking at those systems of equations, and I wrote down a system that I figured we'd go through and do one more practice of writing out or solving those systems of equations. You can never get enough practice doing some algebra problems, right? So we are going to solve the system of equations. And we're going to do what we were doing earlier, where we have the three equations and the three variables. So I'm just going to stick with x, y, and z. Right? So our system, we're going to have the equation x plus y plus 3z equals 3. And then we have 2x plus y plus 6z equals 2. And last but not least, we have 2x minus y plus 3z equals 7. Actually, we're going to make that a negative 7. Just to spice it up a little bit. Ooh. So when it comes to writing these systems of equations, we have to figure out what variable we want to get rid of to start with, right? And it's personal preference, personal choice. So I'm going to let you guys pick and tell me, do we want to eliminate x, y, or z? Which one do you guys want to eliminate first? So somebody shout out a preference. What was it? Did you say why?
Yeah, they'll cancel out.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would pick the y as well, is because they will cancel out, right? Because we have a positive and a negative, so yep. So just for the fun of it, I'm just going to label these guys A, B, and C, just so we know kind of like what we're talking about a little bit, right? So I want to eliminate y, so I got to pick two equations in order to start with. So what do you want to start with? A and C? Is that what you would have picked?
And C.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So let's start with A and C and putting those two guys together. So if I put A and C together, I would have x plus y plus 3z equals 3. And my C, 2x minus y plus 3z equals negative 7. And the nice part about this one is we want to cancel out those y's, and those y's are going to cancel each other out just the way that they are. We don't have to go through and multiply by anything, right? So, oops, get back to my pen, right? So technically I'm adding these two equations together. So I have 3x's. My y's are going to cancel out. And I'm going to get a total of 6 z's. And that's going to equal negative 4. Uh-oh, I'm lagging. Keep your fingers crossed, right? So we're getting someplace because we're now down to an equation with two variables, and that's what we need so we can eliminate one more. So we got to go back up and look at our 3, and we got to come up with another set of equations that's going to eliminate y. Right? So we did A and C to start with. So we go into B and C. You guys good with that one? So b, what are we going to get? 2x plus y plus 6z equals 2. And we're going to put that with c, right? Which was 2x minus y plus 3z equals negative 7. We're going to add these two systems together. First, we're going to check our y and our coefficients. They're opposite signs of each other, so we know that they're going to eliminate. So when we add these together, we get 4x. My y's are eliminated. Plus 9z, and that's going to equal negative 5. Right? So now we have two equations with two variables, so we can kind of go through the same process again of elimination and see if we can get rid of one of them. So, let me look. So I'm just going to rewrite these one on top of the other. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on. So we have 3x plus 6z equals negative 4. And 4x plus 9z equals negative 5. So now we got to make a decision. Do we want to eliminate our x's or do we want to eliminate our z's? Anybody got a preference?
Well, C versus 6 and 9,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like, I mean, if we want to eliminate the x's, we're going to have to get those babies to equal a 12, right? And if we wanted to eliminate the z's, we got to get those babies to be 54. So personal preference. So I think we're going to go for x's, right? So right now on my x's, they're both positive. So I have to get one of them to be negative, and it doesn't matter which one is negative. I will say a lot of times I think it's easier if you guys put the second one negative, just when it comes to the flow of adding or subtracting. Sometimes you guys are better if that negative is on that second number than the first number, but personal preference all the way. So I'm going to get those x's to be a 12, so I know on my top equation I'm going to multiply everything by a 4, right? Because if I do it to one thing, I got to do it to everybody. Caring is sharing in math. And then in my second equation, I'm going to multiply that one by negative 3. So what do I get? I get 12x plus 24z equals negative 16. Right? And then on the second one, I have what? Negative 12x minus 27z equals a positive 15. Everybody picking up on what I'm laying down?
yes.
Add these babies together. Miraculously, it's like magic. My x's are eliminated. And then I have what? Negative 3z equals negative 1. And then I'm going to divide by a negative 3, and I'm going to get z equals 1/3. So I'm a third of the way done, right? So I got my z. So now I'm just going to work backwards onto my equations to figure out my x and my y. Okay. So I got to look at one of these two equations, and I got to put in z, right? Anyone particular? First one, second one? Anybody got any favorites? I feel so bad. It's so hard to hear you guys. Did you guys say the second one?
Sure.
Sure, exactly. I'm trying to be all active here. Yeah. All right, so let's try the second one. And it doesn't matter. I'll do the second one, you do the first one, and I bet you we'll get the same answer. We'll see. So what do we got? 4x plus 9z equals negative 5, right? So I'm going to plug in that 1/3 for z. So 4x plus 9 times 1/3 equals -5. If you guys want to get all fancy, if you don't like it written as a 9, you could change that to a 9/1, right? So when it comes to multiplying fractions straight across, so we're going to get 4x plus 9 divided by 3 is 3 equals -5. Right? We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. 4x equals -8. Divide by 4, and we get x equals -2. So now we got our x and our z, and we just have to find our y. So now we're going to go back to one of those original equations, that ABC, one of these guys. Right. I want you guys to pick one, and I'm going to pick one. You guys are going to do it on your own, I'm going to do it on my own, and then we're going to see if we get the same answer. Sound like a plan? Right. Did you guys pick one to do? A, B, or C? Did you guys already start it? Right. You do yours, I'll do mine, and we'll see if we come up with the same thing. Don't peek at my paper.